Hello, everyone. So we are actually going live on Facebook. And so I am hoping that a few of you will be able to chime in and take a listen to this free webinar that I put on each month. I'm putting on a free webinar, free leadership webinar. So while I am waiting for for individuals to join me on Zoom, I'll tag a few people to join us for the webinar. So I hope to see you guys hang in there with me. And it's really something because what I do is these presentations that I'm doing, these workshops can go anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, but I knock it out in 1 hour, guys. That takes some skill, right? To be able to do that. But we just touch on the surface of these different leadership topics. So again, I will be playing both sides. I'll try to look at comments of those individuals that'll be chiming in, but also I'll be allowing people to come in through the Zoom, those that register. But I'm going to go ahead and get started right on time. I'm a stickler for time, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I see we are up and running on Facebook, which is great. I really hope you guys chime in, and I'm going to share it also to my group because I want those individuals to be able to join in as well. So hello again, everyone. We are here tonight talking about the types of power used by leaders. And when I tell you I love this topic, and I literally love this topic because I love this quote. And what I love the most about this quote is this: power doesn't corrupt, but power reveals. And that's why we're going to talk about power tonight. I have to honestly say that we have given power a bad name. We have made it seem like every person that has power is something corrupt about them. But in reality, that's not true. Power does some amazing things when you have it. And when you have power, you can change a lot. You can impact a lot of things around you. But the reality is this: power reveals what's on the inside of you. Power reveals what dwells deep on the inside of you. And I think we just saw that with the last administration. You saw what a person can do with power. You saw how deadly power can be, and especially with a person who lacks basic emotional intelligence. That's scary. It's scary when you take a look at individuals who abuse power, and they abuse it in a way that they just feel, they can do anything. They can say anything. They can go anywhere, and there are no consequences for their actions. But I'm here to tell you there are consequences. And here's the thing: it will show you for who you are. So again, like I said, I am streaming live on Facebook as well as on Zoom. So I'm playing, Zoom, entering people here as well as on Facebook. I'll be answering any questions that you have. But again, guys, share this, because we're going to get down and deep into power, the types of power that leaders use in order to impact their followers. So here's the key right here. The major source of the types of power that leaders use can be classified according to whether they emanate primarily from characteristics of the individual. And I just talked about that. You remember what I said? Power doesn't corrupt, but power reveals what's in that person. What type of character is that person displaying? And it also has a lot to do with position, from the position the leader holds, or from both of these sources at the same time. Now, there are effective leaders, who know how to use various types of power. There are leaders who don't abuse their power. It says effective leaders are known to use various types of power to influence followers. And this session tonight that we're going to go over, and like I said, guys, it only lasts an hour. We'll probably be done sooner than the hour if we don't have any comments or questions. But one of the things that's key about this is that we're going to look at three types of power that leaders use in order to influence their followers. One is person-based power, next position-based power, and then we're going to look at both of those with different types of aspects of position and person-based power. Now let's take a look at person-based power. There are two types of person-based power that we're going to look at. That's expert power and referent power. Now, when we're talking about expert power, when you have expert power, it says here that the followers comply because they believe the leader has special knowledge about the best way to do something, a specific skill, a specific skill set that others in an organization don't have. So some examples of an expert power are like our marketing directors, our IT directors, engineers. Like when we think about those types of experts, some of them are doing things that none of us know how to do. So they are considered expert leaders, they have expert power. Without them, probably a lot of things have failed. But with them, a lot of things can grow and they can thrive. But what happens is you might have an IT director who can hold an entire company hostage. So you remember I was talking about how we want to make sure that we're not corrupted, that power is not revealing the corruption on the inside of us. This is what will happen with a person who has expert power. This person can use their power for evil. But the goal here is that we use power for good in order to be able to influence and impact followers in a positive way. So when we talk about person-based power, we're talking about expert power. We're talking about those who have a specific type of skill set that you're not going to find in everyone. And then there's referent power. And this is another person-based type power. Referent power is when the followers comply because they admire or identify with the leader and want to gain the leader's approval. So that's called referent power. And examples of referent power are actors and actresses, musicians, politicians, and nowadays we're talking about influencers. Everyone wants to be connected to an influencer in some kind of way. They want to be connected to them. Why? Because they admire them and they feel like, you know what, if this person see what I do, I'll probably get their approval and I can grow and excel just like them. So we tend to follow after individuals that we revere, when we are, we want to be connected to because we want to be seen as being important as well. So that's a referent type of power, and it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that, but there is a lot wrong with it if you're using it inappropriately. And again, I talked earlier about the political arena. When you have power, so many people want to be connected to you, but do you have the mental capacity? Do you have the emotional intelligence in order to be able to lead people well and not lead them according to your own sin-sick ways? And so again, what's on the inside of you. So we're talking about person-based power, we're talking about expert power and referent power. But I want to go a little bit deeper into expert power. I want us to dig a little bit deeper into that one. So why is expert power important? Expert power is important because it builds your confidence. Guys, when you are an expert in an area, be it marketing, be it IT, be it engineering, be it medicine, when you are an expert in it, it really builds your confidence. I tell people all the time that leaders should never graduate from the school of learning. We should constantly be in a state of learning. And when you have done that, when you've done the work, when you have invested into, in that time, invested in yourself to grow yourself, you are building up confidence. And there is nothing wrong with confidence, nothing at all wrong with confidence. I encourage it 100%. But that is so important. So when we think about expert power, it's important because it it does build confidence, but it also furthers your personal and professional brand and your reach in business as well as in profession. So you think about it, when you are an expert personally, professionally, you are creating a brand. People are identifying you with that expertise that you have. So when they think of, it's just like somebody walked up to me and they said, it was really funny. There was, I don't remember your name, but I think you're that leadership lady. And I was like, wow, okay, I'll take it. I'll be the leadership lady. You know, my brand was extending beyond me because I have aligned myself to be an expert when it comes to leadership development. And that's all I talk about. I know you guys are probably saying, Tessie, enough, but it's not enough for me, guys. It's not going to be enough until I'm dead and gone. I know this is the direction that I have been given to work leaders and the work with leaders and undergird leaders. So I'm not going anywhere with that. That is all I'm going to be talking about from here on out. But it's also a part of my personal brand because I have to also represent leadership. I just cannot be out there talking about leadership from a professional standpoint, and I'm not living anything in that area. So I have to also live according to the brand that I'm trying to create, which is around good, sound, strategic leading. And that's the thing that I stay focused on. And then the last reason why expert power is so important is because it aligns you as a thought leader. Do you know people are looking for thought leaders? If you were to Google thought leader, so much will pop up. That people are constantly looking for thought leaders to speak. So if you are, you know, you have a heart to be a public speaker, if you have a heart to be a teacher or an instructor, like they're looking for thought leaders, individuals who know a specific area of expertise. They're looking for you. So you're aligning yourself to being an amazing thought leader, someone who can speak on that topic and be able to impact the arena and the world around you. So I want to encourage you in that area to definitely work on your confidence, continue to grow your brand, grow your profession, and align yourself as a thought leader. That's why expert power is important. But then we want to look at this. With great expert power comes great responsibility. So it's just not enough for expert power to be needed and to just be something that we want to aspire to do. But we want to make sure that we understand that with that great expertise, with that great knowledge, comes great responsibility. And there's a scripture that says, to whom much is given, much is required. And I dug a little deeper into that, and it was about knowledge. To whom much knowledge is given, much is required. So we have to pay attention to the responsibility that comes with that. So you may be an expert IT director, marketing director, musician, in the medical field. You may be an expert in that area. You don't have a right to put anyone down. So don't put others down because they're not in alignment with you. We are in this together. You are not a lone wolf. It is not just about you. You have to respect the contributions of others. So again, great expertise comes great responsibilities to always make sure you're respecting everyone's contribution. You're not putting people down, and that you're continuing to learn. There's always more to know. There are always more levels to reach. So we have to put ourselves in a position that we understand that with this amazing knowledge that we've been given, that we have pursued and we've learned, and this great calling on us, we have to be very considerate of others. We have to be always considerate of others. So again, don't put others down, respect the contributions of others, and keep learning. There's always more to know. There are always more levels to reach. So I'm gonna look over here. Let me see what's going on over here. All right, with our Facebook. All right, so the next area we want to look at is position-based power. Now, position-based power, I'm only going to look at one type of position-based power, and that is legitimate power. Now, legitimate power, when we think about that, legitimate power, it says the followers comply because they believe the leader has the right to make requests and the followers have the obligation to comply. Now, legitimate power is what we deal with literally every single day. We deal with if you're working on a job, you have a supervisor, you have a director, you have someone, you are dealing with this every single day. You're basically looking at your supervisor, looking at the director, looking at the CEO, and you're saying to them, like, hey, you have a right to ask me to do this. You have a right to require this of me. Why? Because of your position. And remember, we're looking at position based power. So you're looking at your CEOs and you're looking at the directors and you're looking at the presidents and so forth. You're looking at all of those who have positional type of power. And you're thinking to yourself, they have a right to ask me to do anything that's in alignment with my job. Now, anything outside of it, we're not going to even go into that because they shouldn't be asking you to do anything outside of your scope of work. But if it's within your scope of work, then yeah, they have a responsibility to ask. We have given them so much power, and in their mind, they've earned that power. But it's so important for us to understand that because this is so common, we have to understand that it could come and go as quickly. Like I said, it could go just as quickly as it came. So, like, we have to pay attention to that. So, here are some points that I want to make when it comes to legitimate power. Number one, when you listen to the term, the formal right to make decisions, it's not technically wrong. It says the formal right to make decisions is technically not a right. It is not a right, but it is an entrusted calling. When you are put in a position to make decisions for someone, this is not your right to push people around. This is a calling. This is a responsibility that's been given to you. And you have a responsibility to do it the right way. And then we have to understand that this type of power, we're talking about legitimate power, a position based power. This type of power is inherently unstable. It can be immediately lost because power was yielded not by the person, but by his title. How many of us have changed jobs overnight? How many of us have walked in and our bosses weren't there? If their power was wrapped up in the title, you understand they lose that power when the title is gone. So that's important for us to understand that it can go as quickly as it came. So you want to make sure you're nurturing it. And then the next is the scope of power is also limited to circumstances that people believe the person of the power has the right to oversee. Which means if I am in the medical field, I should not be able to try to tell a police officer how to do his job. When you have power, which is legitimate power, which is specific to a position, people expect for you to stay in your lane. You're not trying to tell everybody how to do their job or what to do, what not to do. You only can talk about what it is that you are an expert in, that you do. But a lot of people tend to want to assume that because they have a title over here, that they also can dictate over there. And that's where the problem comes in, that because people are saying, I'm sorry, you can't tell me what to do. A fireman is not telling a police officer what to do, and a police is not telling a fireman what to do. They're staying in their lane. There is a divide. And so, again, we have to understand that the scope is limited to your circumstances when it comes to you leading and leading in a legitimate manner. And so the last three areas that we're going to talk about which is position or person-based power. So we're just going on, we're adding more types of power that leaders use to influence followers. One is reward power, the next is coercive power, and then we have connection and resource power. So when we're looking at these three powers, we're just going to go in and I'm just going to read through the narrative and we'll talk a little bit about those. So let's look at reward-based type power. It says the followers comply in order to obtain awards as rewards. So it says the followers comply in order to obtain rewards. I'm going to do what you say. I'm going to complete this task because at the end of it, I am going to get something. And here's an example. The supervisor who provides employees comp time when they meet an objective she or he sets for a project. So you already know that there's a reward at the end of this project. So you're going to comply simply to get that reward. And leaders use that type of power to get work done. They use that type of power to get people to comply. And then the next one is coercive power. And coercive power is one that we got to really be concerned about because it says the followers comply in order to avoid punishment from the leader. So there's kind of a threat there. They know that if I don't do this, then this is going to happen and it's not going to end well for me. And it says, here's an example. The VP of sales who threatens sales folks to meet their goals or get replaced. So basically standing over you and saying, if you don't meet this goal, if you don't meet your quota, I am either going to replace you or you're going to lose your job or I'm just going to make it hard for you. That's coercive power. And leaders often use that to get things done. But here's the thing, guys. In the long run, it never works. It never, ever, ever works. So that is an area that you want to definitely stay away from as a leader when it comes to utilizing the different types of power. And then the last one is connection resource power. The followers comply because the leader provides needed resources or has close ties with another powerful person who can influence the follower's status. So basically, it's like connection in order to get something. So it's just like, you can have, let's just say, a CEO of a company who hang around movie stars. You probably want to stay there and work with that CEO and stay connected because of his connections outside. Someone who's more powerful. So if you have dreams of one day becoming an actress or an actor, you're just like, you know what? This is not the job I want, but this man is well connected and he likes me. So I'm going to hang in there with him in order to be able to get to where I want to be. So that is another type of power that leaders use. They will use their influence. They will use their connections and their resources in order to get what they want. There's really nothing wrong with it if you're not using it in a way that you're abusing it. There's nothing wrong with that. So again, really it's the ties that you have to resources that gives you power. And so, as we get ready to close, I know I said, guys, this was quick, right? This really was. I wanted to leave you with this quote, and it says, "Power is neither good or evil, but its users makes it so." The users makes it so. It is neither good or evil. Like I said before, power has not done anything to anyone. Stop giving power a bad name. It's those of us who have it, those of us who use it. We're the ones that will make it good or make it evil. So we have to watch ourselves. And that's why it's important for us to go through leadership sessions like this, go through webinars or invest in ourselves to grow so that we won't find ourselves in a place where we are mishandling or misappropriating matters because we don't know how to handle power. And again, power is a good thing. It always has been and it always will be, especially when it's used in the hands of proper individuals and individuals with sound. I can't say it enough. Sound emotional intelligence, rooted and grounded in self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, motivation, skill. All of those things matter when it comes to being a leader and being a leader with sound and strong emotional intelligence. So that is it, guys. I told you I would not be here long. And to talk to you. I'll be bringing these webinars to you maybe once a month, sometimes twice a month. But I just want to make sure that that individuals are able to get this meat because you can't always go and sit in a workshop and yay, I'm so happy, guys, because in-person events are starting to come back. But I wanted to, before I close completely out, I wanted to share with you all, and I'll probably be coming back on tomorrow because tomorrow is the deadline to register for this session here. Guys, I had to take a step back over the last few months and think about what is happening. What is happening in corporate America? What is happening with leaders who it's like we have a mass exodus of people who are walking away from their jobs, people who will not return to their jobs because once Corona hit, once the COVID pandemic hit, people saw that as a way of escape. They got the heck up out of Dodge when it came to their careers and where they were. And over the last few months, I began to think about this different, how I wanted to reach leaders. And the first thing came to mind were C-suite women executives. Women executives, those who have are the movers and shakers on jobs, those who are movers and shakers in the community, but you are finding yourself dreading that Monday morning. You're finding yourself dreading just that very day. And they say that Mondays are the most productive day of the week. But there are so many people who dread the idea of just stepping into a Monday, showing up at work on a Monday. There's so many people who dread that. And because they dread it, they're not as productive as they would like to be. But what it's doing is you're producing, you're getting the job done, your head is down, but you know what? You're in survival mode. You're barely making it. You don't want to be there. So, what I decided to do was put together this Leadership Accelerator coaching program, and it is a group coaching program. This is a 4-week program designed for women in leadership, especially those of you who are at C-suite, executive level, but even those who aspire to get to that level. And we're going to dig deep, dive deep into some topics. And I strategically set each of the sessions to go on a Sunday. Each session will be hosted on a Sunday night. And on that Sunday night, what it's doing is preparing you for that Monday morning. I just talked about that dreaded Monday morning. And so this Leadership Accelerator coaching program will bring women together. And I have limited it to only 6 women. That is it. I've limited it to 6 women. It is a financial investment, but it is an investment that will change your life because you will leave this workshop with an amazing, amazing roadmap on how to navigate through these different areas or those areas that are getting in the way of you moving to the next level. And so the first session, we'll talk about affirming your potential. I'm telling you guys, there is no being successful if you cannot affirm your next level. If you cannot affirm where you're going, there is no success connected to a person who cannot speak positively over their achievements and what they're doing, who cannot stand in a mirror and say to themselves that I can do this. Your mindset is everything, and it starts with you affirming it. And so we're going to dive deep into those areas that we need to look at when we're talking about affirming your potential. And then we're going to go into addressing microaggression and identifying effective strategies. Guys, microaggression is all around us. Some of us have even turned a deaf ear to it. It's happening. We know it's happening, but it's like, oh, that's just how that person is. It is time out allowing microaggressions to like nip away at you. I think someone said microaggressions are like getting a paper cut. It won't kill you, but have you ever had one before? That thing nags you forever. It's just a little fine cut, but it constantly, it bothers you. A paper cut hurts a lot. But what you want to do is make sure that you have the tools and the techniques in order to combat it and deal with microaggressions when persons are using that against you. And even if you're using it against yourself or against someone else, it has to stop. It needs to be addressed. So that's what we will cover in session 2. Then we go on to session 3. Session 3, we're talking about the upside and the downside of code switching. Guys, we code switch more than you even know. And if you don't know what that term means, I'm just going to encourage you to Google it. It's more than just switching your language or switching your tone. It's about you not being comfortable enough to be who you are, that you switch you off. Basically, what they're saying to you is, you offend me, so therefore you need to become someone that doesn't make me uncomfortable. My very existence offend you? Come on, guys. So persons have learned to switch off themselves in order to be able to acceptable, to become acceptable to other people. We need to pay attention to that, because code switching can come back and cause more harm than it has ever done you any good. So it's important to pay attention to that. And finally, as we wrap up this workshop, these sessions, we're going to talk about how to proceed and not recede. We're not receding for anyone. I'm not talking about a receding hairline either. We're talking about moving forward. We're talking about knowing where we're going, knowing how we're going to handle every microaggression, every non-affirming thought, every area about code switching that has hindered our next level. We're going to have such a roadmap to be able to navigate it. You know what, guys? We're going to do it together. We're going to do it in a group session. We're going to do it together. You're not going to be at this alone. So tomorrow is the deadline, guys, to register for this. We have individuals that have already started to register for it. And again, I have to limit it to 6 attendees, no more. It has to be 6 because of how I designed the program. So I want to encourage you all to just, take a, leap of faith and invest in yourself. You all know me, right? You've been there. I've been around. You know how consistent I am. I don't put anything out there that I don't back up or believe in myself. So I want to encourage you all to go to my website at theleadershiphaven.com/courses, and you will find this workshop and register. But here's the thing. If you're not too sure, request a meeting with me before the end of tomorrow, because after tomorrow, I'm cutting it off. Request a meeting. I will make time to talk with you. If you have questions about it, I think if if you listen to this, you kind of understand where I'm going from with it. So for those who have joined me here on Zoom, as well as those who are on Facebook, I just want to tell you, like, if you still have some reservations or you don't know what to expect, then reach out to me, DM me, send me a message, let's talk. And we're going to do this over Zoom, guys. So you're going to be able to do this from the privacy of your own home. So again, guys, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. I am very passionate about what it is that what I'm doing. I'm so thankful for this opportunity to be able to just live what I say my dream. And my dream is to work with leaders. And I put a lot of thought in things that I do. But here's the thing. You all need to know me. I don't know all of you. You need to know me. So I'm inviting you to get to know me. If you ever want to know anything about me, please, you're welcome to reach out and ask. And here's the other thing too, for my small business owners or, leaders, our C-suite leaders, or those, we meet every second and fourth Monday right here on Zoom, Biz Besties, Brunch and Lead with Tessie. We bring our coffee, we bring our fruit, we bring our breakfast, and we sit and we just encourage one another. It's on a Monday morning. I told you guys, can't get away from that Monday. It's on a Monday morning, and it's just a time for us to come together. We come together, like I said, the second and fourth Monday at 11 o'clock to just sit and talk for 1 hour. We have so much fun. Actually, just Monday past, you know what we did? We audited each other's website. We got actual different types of techniques and things that we can do in order to be able to maximize the use of our websites. So we are helping each other to grow. We're helping each other to develop. So I just want to encourage you all that if you haven't done so yet, you can send me a comment. All I ask you to send me is #sisterhood, and I will send you the link to Biz Besties Brunch and Lead with Tessie. So again, guys, I want to thank you for being with me on tonight. And let me see what time it is. We did good, guys. It's 7:35. So we actually closing this out in less than an hour. And I told you they're very quick. And it's just about, just empowering and imparting in you some leadership techniques to lead by. Hopefully, if you all have any questions, I'll go back and take a look and see if there were any questions. I am going to go ahead and stop sharing on Facebook now so I can talk with those who have joined me in the Zoom session to see if they have any questions. And again, I want to thank you for being here with me. We will be back next month. And like I said, we may do it twice next month. It just depends on how things flow. But I love coming in, just imparting knowledge in you about leading. And I tell you, here's the thing: lead in health. Be a healthy leader. My academy is called L Heal, the Leadership Haven Enrichment Academy for Leaders, because I strongly believe that when leaders heal, we all heal. So again, guys, I want you to have a great, great rest of your evening. Thank you so much for joining me on tonight. And hey, guys, have a great weekend. I know there are a lot of things going on this weekend. Please be safe, guys. Wear your mask. Those that have received your shot, okay, great. But I will just encourage you to always take that extra precaution. We don't know what's up with this thing. So be safe this weekend. Enjoy it to the fullest. Take a break if that's all you need to do. But I want to just encourage you to do that. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign out now, and I'm going so I can connect with those on the other side who are here with me from on Zoom. And I just, again, have a great weekend, and I will talk to you later.